Alright, welcome to another edition of Psoto Desperado Plays Ark Survival Ascended. Used to be Evolved, now it's Ascended, you see. So I moved base, I finished up some of the structure, I got a little bit to go there. Missing a few things, like I need to get wood, but in reality I got wood here. But what I'm doing is I'm finishing up the base. I'm still moving some materials out of the other location. And we're going to go ahead and see some more videos. I'm going to store a lot of the animals, the smaller animals up here out of the way on this level. And then the machinery is going to be on the bottom level because it has the quality of life thing where you can do this and you can pull stuff. I don't even have to have a roof access. I could just plop it down somewhere and just take resources from wherever I need. But anyway, I have a couple of videos lined up. Let's go see them real quick. Got this one, the new one, Mayor Meets World. Working 9 to 5 just hasn't been working out for me, so I'm finally paying attention to the glaring signs and warnings. Constant death around me, depression, robotic motions. I am done. Please subscribe and support my channel as I go on this journey. Of course I will, honey. I always do that. As long as you're not like something I'm really not interested in, but I like hearing people's testimonies. So this video is I can't work 9 to 5. I'm 52, and I've been working jobs in warehouses, offices, and now I'm customer support. I've been here 6 years, slaving away, and I realized I have no retirement. I have no family that has any money or anything. And it's just me and my cats. So I have to work 9 to 5. I have to stay in air condition and outside of that crap out there. I'm preparing the car or eventually I will take the time to prepare the car, but you know, if I have to live in there, I will. I'll park here locally because nobody regulates this parking lot. I can park here at night, feed my cats at night, leave water here and there for them. Nobody's going to disturb anything. Nobody's going to know and nobody's going to care. If I have to put my cats out, I'll call to them, put food out for them. The problem is that the raccoons will come and eat all the food and leave them with nothing. That's what they usually do. So, feeding the cats outside is not something good here. It was good over there in the old apartment complex because there weren't any raccoons over there. There was just cats. But here there's raccoons, and I saw a possum. Probably the same possum that snuck in here with that one stormy night. So anyway, let's see what she's got to say.
And one day I'm not going to exist either. And if I were to die tomorrow, would I be proud and happy about the way I spent my time on this earth? The answer, when I was working a 9 to 5, was no. If you were to die tomorrow, would you be satisfied with the way you spent the last 5 days of your life? Yes or no? If you're stepping in a space, if you're working at a place where they're squashing your lights, I'm gonna let you know right now that is not where you belong. You need to be able to shine your light so bright that you can inspire others to shine their light. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I felt so restricted at my job, and the last place I left, so I haven't been working since December, so it's been December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. It's been about 9 months. I haven't been working for 9 months, and oh, there's a truck passing by. And the reason why I haven't been working for 9 months is because I literally, in 2022, at the end of the year, in November, my brother died of a fentanyl overdose suddenly. 3 days later, I went back to work because the bereavement policy was you only get 3 days for the death of a family member, which is honestly outrageously evil, first and foremost. And then in 20, I don't think I didn't mention this, but I was pregnant. I was 4 months pregnant when my brother passed away. And then in 2023, in April, I gave birth to my very first child. My mom was an integral part to my postpartum journey. She supported me through it all. She was very adamant about supporting me. My daughter and her loved each other. When I went back to work after my daughter was born, I went back to work when she was 4 months old. My mom was the one that was taking care of my daughter primarily. Like, I mean, honestly, like Monday through Friday when I would go to work, I would drop my daughter off at my mom's place. Maybe I'd eat breakfast there. I'd give my mom a kiss. I'd give my daughter a kiss, and I'd be out the door, you know, and then I'd go back and pick her up after the work was done. I was very irritable in the mornings and in the evenings because to get my daughter set up in the morning to get out the door so I could be on time for work was a lot as a new mom. And then after work, all I wanted to do was go home and just like have time for myself because work was draining. And it was like one of the easiest jobs I've ever had. I was getting paid the most I've ever been paid. I earned $100,000 my first year there. And you know, like I realize now that the money didn't matter because I didn't have the time to spend with my daughter or my mom. And then all of a sudden in December of 2023, my mom passed away when she was traveling. She just died. And we don't know, like honestly, sometimes I'm like, was it murder? Like, I don't know. It just seems so fishy and everything's been so surreal. I feel like I'm living in some kind of dystopia. I feel like I'm living in some kind of nightmare ever since my brother passed away because it's been back-to-back deaths. And it's just heartbreaking. But what I realized through it all was, how am I going to work? Like, how am I going to go to work and pretend I care about any of the things that are happening at this job when I literally just lost one of the most important people in my life? Everybody's nightmare is losing their mom. Most of the people that are in my age group don't like still have their mom, haven't lost their mom. And so like when I think back to the last couple of months of my mom's life, and I didn't know it was the last couple of months of her life, when I think back to it, I was literally not present with her. I was always in a rush, and she would look at me all distraught and like disappointed in me and like sad, but also very much understanding. Like she had these eyes of like, I get it. Like she got me. She's my mom, so of course she knew that I was like only in a rush and doing all this to make it to work. But I look back and I think like, damn, what wouldn't I give to be with my mom again? And so, you know, like I've been thinking a lot about working 9 to 5s and the fact that I don't think it's actually for me, and the fact that like if I were to die tomorrow, is this something that I actually want to do for the rest of my life? Like, is working a 9 to 5 fulfilling? Is this actually me living in the will of God for my life, or am I just doing it because I don't feel like there's another option for myself? There's this song by this band called The Flaming Lips that goes, and listen, my vocals are horrible. Do you realize that you have the most beautiful face? Do you realize we're floating in space? Do you realize that everyone you know someday will die? And when I think about that song, and I don't know why it's been on my heart so much so recently. It's a really old song, but it's been on my heart so much because, first of all, for a long time in my life, I never felt beautiful. I never felt pretty. I mean, sometimes I do, but I feel like I always needed to do a lot to feel pretty, like whether it be wear a wig, wear a whole bunch of makeup, like dress super provocatively, wear contact lenses. Like, I never felt like I could just be my authentic self and still feel beautiful, but that's been debunked. Like, I've recently started radically accepting myself, and life has just gotten brighter and more vibrant. So yes, I do now realize that I have the most beautiful face, and so do you. Another thing I've realized, like, I'm literally on a freaking planet working a 9 to 5, grinding my gears, 40-hour work weeks, and not having any time to like really like even explore my neighborhood, get to know my neighbors, get to know the different types of trees and plants and animals and insects that live with me. Like, I'm just on autopilot, just a robotic MP3. Is it MP3 CP? What is that thing called? MPC? Like, I'm just like playing a role, you know, a weird role that I haven't even really intentionally like decided on. I feel like society has decided that you need to work, you need to grind, you need to have this house, you need to own this car, you need to have this much money before you retire, you need to even care about retirement. Like, I don't care about these things because I'm at a place where most people my age have not been, where I've lost people who are really important in my life, like core family members, core dad, brother, mom. Lost them, my dad, to something so crazy and outrageous as a very rare form of cancer, and had to see him being homeless at the time of his death, going through the worst of the worst. Like, I've gone through so much trauma, and I think because I've gone through so much trauma, I don't see the world as everyone else sees the world. My mom suddenly passed away just 9 months ago. My other older brother suddenly passed away. Almost, it hasn't been 2 years yet. It's been a year and 10 months. He passed away from a fentanyl overdose suddenly out of nowhere. And they don't exist anymore. And one day I'm not going to exist either. And if I were to die tomorrow, would I be proud and happy about the way I spent my time on this earth? The answer when I was working a 9 to 5 was no. The answer now is a little bit more, right? There's still some things I haven't accomplished. There's still more things that there's a purpose that God has placed me here to fulfill that I'm not fulfilling yet. And until I get to that purpose, I feel like I'm always going to have this desire in my heart and not feel fully fulfilled, but at least now I'm on the right track to it. I feel like a lot of us in the 9 to 5 matrix are not on the right track to fulfilling our purpose here. And I know it sounds like, oh my God, what a big, serious, lofty thing you're putting on me as a human being. But it's not that I'm putting it on you. This is literally that's God's will for your life, is to find your purpose, to fulfill that purpose, and to be a light. And are you being a light? When I was working at my job, the last one I just quit, I was not. I was a light in that space, but they tried to dim my light, because there was a lot of negativity around me. There was a lot of demonic forces around me. And honestly, people weren't even spiritual at that job. And it was just a lot of negative energy, just low vibrations, people that just wanted to get ahead. They didn't really care. I worked at a school. They didn't often show that they cared about the kids. I know that they probably did, but I couldn't tell based on how the teachers were the ones that were put first. If you're working at a school, I'm so sorry, but the kids come first because you're offering a service. You're teaching and educating them. But when you work at a school that is literally in the hood and parents are working multiple jobs, they can't always advocate for the best educational outcomes for their kids, and teachers know that. I used to coach teachers that would say that. They'd be like, you know what, if I worked at this school in a predominantly white neighborhood that was super rich, the parents would be they would be on my ass, calling me, wanting to know what the kids are doing. But I don't get those calls here. So it was literally, I was working with teachers who were coasting, working with teachers who unfortunately weren't putting the highest expectations on themselves. And because they didn't have high expectations for themselves, they didn't have high expectations for students, and students felt miserable. They were yelling at each other, fighting, it was just such a environment where there wasn't a lot of love. And I would come into that space and try to bring love because I'm in the Word of God all the time and I feel like I vibrate love, but that wasn't what I was met with, unfortunately, and that was draining. So I would come home having spent all of my love energy at this place, and I had very little love energy to give my husband and my child and my mom. And then out of nowhere, my mom freaking dies, and I'm like, dang, I didn't even get a chance to ask her all these questions I wanted to ask. And I kind of had I was having all these weird feelings at the time. I remember talking to my husband about I need to remember these moments. I need to remember what's happening. I need to remember how the days are going because something big's about to happen. And I would tell him, I'm like, when my brother Michael died, I didn't remember all the details, and I want to remember details right now. And I didn't even know my mom was dying. Why was I saying these things? And then I wanted to post videos about my mom, and I just had all this insight that God was giving me that something big was coming. And then all of a sudden, boom, my mom died. The day my mom died, I didn't go to work. I called out of work. I didn't know she was going to die, but thankfully I was home when I found out that she was dead because He positioned me to stay home that day. But yeah, I say all this to say we are definitely spiritual beings who have more purpose on this planet that we give ourselves credit for. We have to give ourselves more credit to actually go after the things that we want to go after and live full lives, working 40 hours out of your week, spending all that time working for people who actually don't care about you. I'm literally going through my healing journey right now. I don't talk to anybody from that job anymore. What was I really doing? The people that I talk to are literally within my general sphere. They're my family members, my husband, my daughter, some very close friends. And even that, I've been losing friends left and right lately. And I think that that's just the way the world is going right now. I don't think I'm the only one that's going through this overwhelming sense of loss. I just want to say, if you want to quit your 9 to 5, I've been out of work for 9 months, and it's amazing how God sustains you, how randomly people will show up for you. And there was one point where I had a friend, at the time my daughter was drinking formula, and my friend was like, hey, I have all these formula bottles and all this formula that I'm not going to use because my daughter has grown out of it. Do you want it? And I was like, girl, you just saved us hundreds of dollars. Thank you. And there were all these other moments that were just happening where money was just dropping and coming from nowhere. And we were able to pay bills. And even now, God really came through for us in a big way where we're making enough to survive, more than that, And I'm just thank you so much, Father God, that I'm not working, right? I'm not working a traditional 9 to 5 right now. I say all this to say, like, you got to ask yourself, if money wasn't an option, what would you actually be doing with your time? How would you be spending your time? Who has put this idea in your mind that you need to work and grind and work a 9 to 5 job that you don't even like? Who put that in your mind? If it wasn't you, you need to reconsider and evaluate and assess where you're at in your life. Like, I think it's important for us as human beings to look inward and think, like, where am I right now in my life? And is it somewhere that I actually want to be? No one can force you to do something that you don't want to truly do. We have more choice than we give ourselves credit for. The other question I would want you to ask yourself is, if you were to die tomorrow, would you be satisfied with the way you spent the last 5 days of your life? Yes or no? Why and why not? And to me, like, I think those questions will really get you to examine your life and to live a more examined life. And lately, I've just been examining my life and trying to figure out, okay, so how can I share my testimony? How can I make this world actually a better place? How can I reach my highest self, a high vibrational space? Like, how can I be my highest self, the self that God wants me to be, where all I am is overflow, all I am is abundance and love and light? Because if you're stepping in a space, if you're working at a place where they're squashing your lights, I'm gonna let you know right now, that is not where you belong. You need to be able to shine your light so bright that you can inspire others to shine their light. The jobs I've had, literally, there's always been somebody. The last job I quit, this woman literally, like, body blocked me, and I was 5 months pregnant at the time. She ended up getting fired for something else. Like, she didn't even get fired because she body blocked me. They fired her because she was telling the students to record the teachers. It was weird, but I got body blocked as a 5-month pregnant woman by a teacher, or by a person who was jealous of me, who didn't want me to do my job. And she body blocked me because she wanted to prevent me from doing my job. I kid you not. If you want a story time about it, I'll let y'all know. But every place I've worked, oh my God, I worked at another place where this woman told me the only reason why you have your job is because you're black. She ended up getting fired because she said that to me. And I was nothing but kind to her. So these jobs have tested me and have been trying, like, have pushed me out. I'm trying to finally, like, listen to God and just be like, okay, if these jobs are making it so hard for me to be a light, and there are actual people who are, like, opposing me to the highest degree, why am I still fighting to work these jobs and collect a measly check? Why not do what God is calling me to do? Why not do what God is calling you to do? So anyway, I said that's all to say. I love you so much. 9 to 5s are not the wave. Please get in alignment to what God has for you. Because if you're working these 9 to 5s, you're blocking the blessings that you can actually be getting by doing what God has called you to do. Anyway, I love you so much. We got to end this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Wow. Well, that sister's learned some valuable lessons there. Because believe it or not, you do have to, make yourself available to the Lord's will if you're serious about living for God. You know what I mean? You do have to be able to, you do have to be able to, okay, how's this look? It's good enough. Need to make some torches. That's what I really need to do. Not those, the wall torches. Where do I make the wall torches here? Flintstone wood, cementing paste. I don't have any. I have to make some. Metal ingot, thatch. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and go in there. Yeah, if you're following the will of God, you're trying to live a saintly life, it's important that you leave yourself open to God's possibilities. Remember, I told you God is code for good. If you do not leave yourself open for God, you're closing yourself off to the good. And that is the good of this creation. And it's kind of stupid, but you can get around it. If your faith just isn't there, then you don't go based on that. But it's important that people understand that there's certain things that just have to be done in a way. Let's see if I can get some CP done. There we go. That'll help. So you can't get too religious But you can say that if you're going according to that divine plan for your life, you have to leave yourself open, open-minded, open-hearted. But when you go out there, you're an innocent child and you're going to be vulnerable. And a lot of people, they toughen up and they get mean because they don't like the vulnerable part. They have no problem receiving the blessings part, but they don't like the vulnerability part. Thought I heard something. Anyway, okay, so we got that. I forgot what else I needed. Okay, need metal, thatch, flint, stone, wood. Metal, thatch, flint. Okay. A little bit of metal here. Okay, so I'll go inside and see if there's anything else in there. I know I took a bunch of resources in already. The reason why I need the torch is simply because it's too damn dark in here. See how bright the wall torches are. Hopefully they don't suck. Here's some thatch. I don't have any flint. Let me try over here. I'll put a bunch of stuff in here. Ah, there we go. Might be able to pull it off. There we go. I can make 2 of them. What am I out of? Wood. I ran out of wood. Okay. Let's see. I always want one where I'm sleeping. Let's see. So I can see what the hell I'm doing. There we go. Yeah, when you come into the game, you don't want everything to be dark all the time. So that room is lit up. Alright, that's one. And this one I'll put here on the wall. There we go. That's much better, because I can't see shit. Much better. Oh my god, I can actually see. Alright, so what I'm missing is wood. I'm out of wood. I don't think this one has any wood on there. Yeah. Alright, so we'll have to go out and get some wood. Alright. Well, I'm glad the Lord's providing for her. That's the way it is. You know, in the Old Testament, there were prophets that would walk the land, and the Lord would provide for them by sending birds with little cherries, and they would bring little berries and things, little scraps of meat to the prophet, and the prophet would eat what the birds provided. That's how it is. When you're carrying the anointing of the Most High God, it is the Lord's personal responsibility to provide for you. That's just the real world for those who are on that path. If you're not on the path, then good luck with that. You know, even now, you know, I'm a very worldly person now. I've fallen in, I've fallen out, I've fallen around, I've been stomped on, and you know, I still have respect for the ways of the Most High. I still have respect, and I acknowledge these things. I don't put my head in the sand like some people. You know, I have an apartment, I have a job that's still relatively steady. I'm having to make some changes to survive because of the inflation and try to make it easier to survive. But I'm doing this in faith that everything's going to be okay for later on. You know, I'm stretching out my pennies. You know, I'm thankful. I humble myself And I'm very thankful for what I have, despite my spiritual condition, despite the past, and despite everything that is under the blood. You know, basically you have to put it under the blood and stop putting it out in your face. And I'm just thankful, I'm humbled about it. And I am diligent in doing what I can to survive, yes, and to thrive. I don't just want to exist. I've been existing for like 30 years. I want to survive and thrive and achieve more with my life. And it's important that we do this. That lady is named Mare Meets World. I'm going to give her a thumbs up. Very inspirational. Now, those of you who don't believe in religion, don't believe in religion, but believe in principles, and the principles are still valid. It's not the same thing as acknowledging God and acknowledging that relationship and things like that. That's a little bit different level. But if you can't do that in yourself, you just be thankful that you're alive, that you can live life. You can live life. It is here to be lived. Whether you're rich or poor, happy or not, no matter what your status is, just be thankful you can live life. You know, be thankful. I'm having a beer, hypocritically, but I'm having a beer and I'm thankful for it. Because man, do I need it? It's Saturday. I need a beer for the crap I have to go through 5 days a week. You know, and I'm glad it's only 5 days a week and only one job. There's some people working 3 jobs to survive this inflation. What I'm doing is I'm reducing costs to the minimum. I'm going to reduce the service plan on my phone. I'm going to switch out. I'm going to go from farmer's insurance on my car to a different, like auto. I'll find something that's less. I should get it down from $60 to $30, maybe 20 something. And I'm going to put my car as a pleasure vehicle because I'm going to use it for quote unquote camping. You know, I'm going to use it for camping. I'm going to set it up so that the jackery can be installed in there, not permanently, but just in there. And I'm going to set up those 3 USB fans like I did when I was, living out of my vehicle. I'm going to get 3 USB fans and I'm going to situate them so that I can draw air in. What was killing me, like I said, was the hot air was accumulating inside the vehicle because I wouldn't open the vehicle. I wouldn't open anything. And, later on, once things start looking up, I'll get some mosquito netting and things like that so that I can have even better air circulation, So anyway, you gotta work with what you have. Some people don't have an SUV. Some people have a van. Some people have a truck. There are guys that I saw this guy with this large truck. It had the back seat had that real large cab on the back. That man set up an AC in there so that when he's out there working, because he does an outside job, when he's on break, he can turn that AC on. It's just one of those little portable ACs, and he gets air, right on his face. It cools you down immediately. It gives you a cone of coolness, and it's nice, Things like that. People are just working with what they got. Anyway, let's move on. I got to get back to doing my thing. All right. Born into a corrupt system. And this one is interesting. Couple almost homeless from mortgage until debt do us part. Mortgage meltdown. Now, this is from someplace called Weddings and Beyond TV. So, like I said, I listen to videos. I try not to watch them, but I listen to them just to see what I could learn. So, but let's do this guy. This is the young man. He says our only purpose is to work and get them bills paid off. Yeah, because it's a slave system. It's been a slave system for a long time. They made slavery legal. As long as they give you a paycheck and they pay you a wage per hour, you don't have the right to complain. You're an employee. You're not a slave. You can leave the job whenever you want to. Everybody's replaceable. So you can have any job that you qualify for. And if you don't want that job, somebody else can do it. So they perfected slavery. They took away the chains, and they gave you bills. They gave you other burdens, things that you have to pay, fines, fees. Yeah, it's sad, but that's life. Anyway, here's this kid. I try to skip past the animation just because it's like, okay, I'm glad you feel that way. Look at the arms. Look at the arms. Bloody pulp. Oh boy. Yeah, man.
Do you ever say to yourself, how the hell do people accept this shit? Like, how the hell do we just do what we do?
Psychological operations.
Now, I understand we have no choice, so we do what we do, but how are people just okay with it? How do people see absolutely nothing wrong with it? Or if, for example, somebody's whining about going to work or going to school, for example, and then someone else says, stop whining, that's just the way life is, get used to it. It's like, why do people actually just defend and accept this shit and see nothing wrong with it? And then, like, when people complain or whine, they get belittled and criticized, stop being lazy, stop being this, stop being that. You know, it always just makes me wonder, you know. Now, I understand we have to work, unfortunately. I understand we gotta pay never-ending bills that just keep coming until, you know, we die. But it's like, how do people just see nothing wrong with the way we live? You know, that's just a big mystery question. Your only purpose here is to work and pay bills. You're forced out of your will. It's like you're literally like forced out of your will to work, because if not, then you're going to become homeless. You're not going to have money to do anything. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You need money for every little thing, everything. You can't do nothing without money. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can't eat. You won't have a place to stay. You can't drive. You can't wear clothes. I mean, you know, whatever clothes you have, if you even have clothes, you know what I mean? It's just, you need it for every little fucking thing. Literally. It's like you literally are nothing without money. You're literally nothing whatsoever without money. You're only cared for, and I always say this, you're only cared for money, for what you have. They'll literally, and I say this a million times, I haven't said it for a while, but I do like to bring it up time to time, they'll literally let you die or rot away, because you don't have money. You go to the hospital or something, you need an operation, or you need something that they could easily do to save your life, but if you don't have the funds, you don't have the insurance, you don't have the money, let's just put it to that, you don't have the money, they literally won't help you. They'll just let you die. They'll just let you suffer. Do they really care about you? Hell fucking no, they don't. Because if they do, whether you have money, insurance, or whatever, they would help you regardless. That's if they actually cared. If they cared for you, it doesn't matter what you have, they're going to help save your life. But no, it's all about what you have. If you have it, we're going to help save your life. If you don't have it, they're most likely going to let you die. Well, that just goes to show you. We're nothing without a piece of paper. We're nothing without money. Money's our everything. It's like just an evil, it's like we're worshiping it. We are worshiping it. They say money is the root of all evil. But really, people are the root of all evil. Money's just a piece of paper. It's no different than this paper napkin here. Just kidding around, but I didn't really sneeze in it. But you get what I'm saying. It's no different than this napkin. It's like worshiping this napkin. It's the same scenario. We're the ones that are twisted and evil and all fucked up in the head and corrupted and you name it. We allow this thing to rule us. It's not like it's literally controlling us. We're making it control us. And I've said this so many friggin' times. And it's just something I always like to say so many friggin' times. Because the truth's got to be announced multiple times. A million times. It's got to be out there, I guess. It's just truly disgusting how we live. Truly disgusting how we live. And what makes it even more disgusting is we don't see anything wrong with it. And just to prove that we don't see anything wrong with it, what do? We have kids. We bring more kids into this. We bring more living souls into this hell. That just proves we don't see anything wrong with it. When there's everything wrong with it. That's what's truly disgusting. It's disgusting how we live. And what makes it even more disgusting is we're so stupid or just, stupid, and we don't see anything wrong with it. And to prove that we don't see anything wrong with it, we have a damn kid. And now they gotta suffer. And then it just keeps going and going and going. The cycle just keeps going and going and going. Literally, it's like an escalator. I'm tired of always saying the hamster wheel, so now I'm trying to think of something else I can say. An escalator. The same steps eventually going to go around. It's going to go down, and it's going to recycle back and come back around, you know. I say hamster wheel a lot, so I'm trying to say something different now. Now I'm going to say escalator. It's like an escalator. Or an elevator, up and down. Well, let's go with the escalator. Or even a treadmill. You get the joke. But it's not a joke when you really think about it, because this is truly how it is. It's truly depressing. It really is. It's like we just don't see any, you know, it's like that's what's truly disgusting, how we just don't see nothing wrong with it. It's like, how do people just accept this? Then when there's people with actual eyes like me and whoever watching these videos that feel the same, with people that actually have eyes that see for what it is, we get belittled and shit. We just see for what it is, man. Don't hate me. Don't call me this. Don't call me that. I see for what it is. We should all be seeing for what it is, but that's the thing. We're stupid. It's like the majority of people are just plain old stupid, man. Like, you can't fix stupidity. You can't fix stupid. I'm here now, so I gotta unfortunately do this bullshit. I have no damn choice, you know? But I'm gonna be smart and not bring a kid here, because I don't want to make the escalator keep going around. Now here I am creating another kid. And then now he's got to, or she's got to do the same bullshit. I'm not going to be stupid enough to do that. I see for what it is. I'm here. What could I do, sadly, you know? But I'm going to be smart at least and not procreate. And that's something we should all be doing by, you know, not doing. We shouldn't be having kids. But, I mean, I just don't understand. I seriously don't. You absolutely barely ever have time to do what you truly want to do. You can't ever just enjoy, unwind, because before you know it, you're already getting ready to gotta get back going. You know, you gotta get ready to get back to work. You just got off Friday, and you're like, good, I get the weekends off, and before you know it, it's already Sunday night, getting ready to go back Monday. It's Friday already becoming Monday. It felt like it was Friday yesterday, and the next day is Monday. It's like it just totally skipped those 2 Saturday and Sunday days that you have off and just went right straight back to Monday. That's what it feels like. That's what it used to feel like when I was in school. I used to get excited Friday because, you know, it's Friday. I get those 2 days off, but then before you know it, Saturday and Sunday just already turn into Monday. And here we are again, the whole beginning. And just knowing Monday, and you got 4 more days after of this hell again, and this is all it is. This is all it is. You never have time to do what you truly want to do. And then me personally, like if you go on vacation, you're just going to keep thinking. One second, someone trying to call me out there. Sorry about that. As I was saying, you know, you're just going to keep dwelling on, you know, your vacation's going to come to an end. Whether you're at the Poconos or, you know, wherever you are, a water park, wherever, Florida, the beach, the Bahamas, Puerto Rico, all nice shit, but then you're just thinking while you're there, now I gotta get ready and go back, and it's back to that grind again, back to that stupid escalator hamster wheel thing. And it's like, you know, that's all you're thinking about the whole time. Instead of truly enjoying, you just keep thinking like, you know, it's all gonna come to an end. Oh, it's already friggin' Friday. Oh shit, it's already, and I gotta already be back by the weekend to get ready for work again. It's just, it's like that's all we do in our life. That's all our only purpose is. Work and pay bills. 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 That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all your purpose is. That's all our purpose truly is. Work and pay bills. That's it. What's your purpose here? Work and pay bills. That's basically all you can say, because that's the absolute truth. Be a sucker and pay bills forever. Well, for as long as your heart ticks. For as long as your heart's ticking, you gotta work and pay bills. That's it. It's the way it is. And what am I gonna do? Bring a kid in here so he could work and pay bills and work and pay bills too? I can't wait to have a kid one day, so one day he can go work and pay bills too, just like his daddy did. I want to make him do it now. I want to pass the tormented headache onto him or her now. Literally how it feels, man. Because that's how it is. School, work, bills. School, work, bills. Degree, master's degree. Yeah. Yes, master is correct. Like I said in the previous video, we're obeying a master. Yeah. Being an obedient puppet, man. That's all we are. Now, I understand us doing this because we have no choice, but the thing I don't understand is how we see nothing wrong with it. That's the part that kills me. That's the part that literally kills me inside.
It's socially acceptable.
Seeing nothing wrong for what it is. And then we just keep having kids. That just shows you right there. Yeah, it's the way life is. This is life. Yeah, this is life, but this isn't how it should really be. And due to the way it is, I don't want to bring another poor soul into this hell to experience this bullshit. It's just not fair for them. You know, it really isn't. Bad enough I was put here to deal with this stupid shit. Now you think I want to have a kid and make him or her go through it too? Fuck no. I'm too nice. I'm too good of a father to do that. I'm too good of a father to actually become a father. I love my kids so much that I don't want to bring them here into this hell. That's how much I love my kids. I don't want to bring them to experience this pathetic bullshit. Because there should be an actual purpose to life. And the purpose that we have here is absolutely stupid, meaningless, and pointless. When there should really be an actual purpose to your life. But instead, your only purpose to this life is to serve. That's your only meaning. That's your only purpose here, is to serve. To waste away working. To waste away studying. To waste away doing what you truly don't want to do. That's your purpose. To pay bills. To never stop. That's your purpose. That's our purpose. This should actually be an actual purpose. But that, I don't see that as an actual enjoyment or worthwhile being here of a purpose. The words I make up, I kid you not. But all kidding aside, you get where I'm trying to get this as. You know. I don't see what's the purpose of that. And I don't see why it's worth bringing a kid here to do this. If life was actually beautiful like they so say it is, I don't see it one bit. Then I can understand having kids. Then I can understand starting a family, you know, things like that. But you're just bringing a kid here to serve. That's all it is. You're just bringing a kid. He's going to one day serve. That's it. You're just here to serve. Yes, sir. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. It's literally, man. You're just to serve. That's your purpose. Our purpose is to go to school, work, and pay bills. Go to school, work, and pay bills. That's your meaning to life. That's all of our meanings to life. And if we don't do it, then we got to struggle. And either way, you could be struggling, because either way, you're just unhappy. Either way, you're just unhappy. You're unhappy working. You're unhappy if you don't work, because then now you suffer. Now you don't have money to do anything. So it's like either way, you're darn if you do, you're darn if you don't. It's like there's nothing you could do to make you happier, because what you truly want to do that makes you happy, you can't do, because that's getting in the way of it. There's things we'd rather be doing that the majority of us can't do, because this is what life is mainly about. Dude, this is all life is fucking about.
This guy needs
working.
A vacation, man.
That's our only purpose. You're just a robot when they actually have robots. Yet you're treated like a machine. That's what we are. We're like machines. Do the task or suffer the consequences. That's literally it. That's all it is. That is all it is. You'll get some bosses that'll be pieces of shit and say, do you like your job? Well, you better start taking your job seriously. First of all, I feel like saying, no, I hate this fucking job, but I have no damn choice. I got to be here to put bread on the table and pay these stupid never-ending bills. You know, some bosses just be a bunch of, pricks. Do you like your job? No, I hate it, but I'm just trying to fucking tolerate it as best as possible, because I'm not saying I hate my job. I'm just saying in general, like, you get bosses that, you get a lot of bosses that'll be a prick and go up to their, employers and be like, you like your job, sir? Yeah, well, you better start working harder. They try to rub it in and shit. I'm not saying I hate what I do. I'm just saying, in general, like, you'll get those type of bosses that would, like, fuck with you like that. And that's when I would want to just say to the boss straight out, oh, I hate this fucking job, but you know what, I'm trying to do it because, you know, trying to make ends fucking meet, because that's the honest truth. That's the only reason why we're here, because we're trying to survive. To one day not survive. Imagine that. We're trying so hard to survive to one day in the end not survive. It's like another word saying, I just love coming here for the sake of it. No, I'm forced out of my will in a way to come here because I got a shape somewhere so I can try to make ends meet. That's the honest truth with people, you know? But this whole video topic all narrows down to how do people not see anything wrong with the way we live? I understand we got to do it, but to see nothing wrong with it and criticize others because they don't want to do it or they're whining and shit. That's the thing. Nobody has your back but you. No one cares for you but you. You gotta literally care about yourself because no one else will. That's the world we live in. We only care for ourselves, and that's the truth. Hooray for me, to hell with you. You know, that's the attitude. That's the attitude we've always had. As long as I'm doing good, that's all that matters. Fuck that guy. Fuck this chick. Fuck, you know, you get the idea. This is the world we live in. We just make it even more harder than it already is in general. That's humanity. Nothing can just be a breeze. Everything's got to be pins and needles and pins. Anyway, guys, I am going to let you guys go for now. But, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. And, please get spayed and neutered if you're thinking about having kids. If you really can't control your decision, my best decision is to say is get, you know, spayed and neutered. Kidding around. But all kidding aside, man, I mean, don't have damn kids, man. I got, you know, every video at the end, I got to start saying it's not that it's probably going to solve anything, but really think twice, though, man. What do you see so worthwhile here? Remember what I just said about maybe like 2 or 3 minutes ago. Your only purpose here is to work and pay bills. Work and pay bills. Do you really want to bring another kid into this world just so he or she one day's got to do the same exact thing you're doing? Work and pay bills, work and pay bills. Do you really want to put stress on a future child, you know, a future living thing to do that same thing? Really think clearly of it, man. That's all I got to say for now. Letting you guys go for now. Peace out. Love you all. Signing off.
Yeah, he's just feeling it now. You know, love changes your mind, dude. I hate to say it. Love changes your mind. And I don't mean the desire to fuck. I mean real love. You find that one, you want to have children with that one. You want to have a household, a lineage. You know, I have a castle. Whee! And a cool looking weird boat. Whee! Let's see. There we go. Yeah, love does change your mind. Makes you do stupid things. And you don't mind if you're in love. I don't know, man. He's getting all radical about it because what's happening, I think his psychology is, I want to be a good, moral, ethical, responsible adult. I don't want to bring a child into this world if I can't take care of him. You know? Which is acceptable. There's nothing wrong with that mentality. But the truth is that a lot of these people don't give a shit. They're going to fuck because they got an itch they got to scratch. You know what I mean? They got an itch they got to scratch. They don't care if, let's see what I need. Fiber. They don't give a shit if, Fulanita over there doesn't get what they want, They want what they want. Oops, where's the fiber? Over here, probably. Here we go. And, after a while, I stopped worrying about shit. And the way I see it now, if I were to allow myself to fall in love and take a chance like that, and then she cheated on me or some tragedy happened, just like I said earlier, I think I would just be thankful I fell in love and had somebody in my life and got to live with them, even if it's just for a short time. It could be much worse, I think. All right. All right, awesome. So far, so good. Okay. So that was born into a corrupt system. Your only purpose is to work and get them bills paid off. Did you know that if you claim your birth certificate bond, supposedly you can write off your bills and send them to the IRS, and the IRS will have to write them off for you and pay them out of your birth certificate bond? But you have to file a lot of paperwork, and usually the dark magicians and people who have certain training are the ones that do that. And I had an opportunity to do it, but I didn't have enough money to actually fulfill the process. You have to do paperwork. You have to, never break the law, never wind up inside one of their courts, because they will not acknowledge anything. They'll just completely lie right to your face. And, it's like something they legally have to abide by, but it's based on commercialism. So that's why they hate it so much. It's not something where they can just spew out a moral judgment. There's a commercial law there that has to be abided by. And if they refuse to do that, they get penalty. So anyway, that's something else. You guys can talk to the 13th son about that if you want. So this lady, she looks like she's been through the shit. And a couple almost homeless from mortgage till debt do us part. Mortgage meltdown. Shannon and Pete consolidated their debts into the mortgage, but now their consumer debt is creeping up again in the midst of the struggle to manage it all. This is a year ago. It's not even recent to where they started getting the they started getting the inflation, because inflation really went up, but it started happening a little bit more than a year ago, I think. Now they have only one income, and there's no way they can pay both the mortgage and the maintenance on their home. They have no idea how to get out of the mess they've made. They're at risk of losing their roof over their heads and their relationship. Host Gail Vaz Oxlade tries to get them both back on track. Okay. Well, oops.
This guy is no good with money.
We just rolled all our debt into the mortgage. Priority number one is getting this thing fixed properly.
We can't afford to sell, and we can't afford to stay.
You are complete morons when it comes to your money.
I would like to know where you're going.
It's come to the point where she goes through my receipts when I come home.
We are up creek. You're just going to have to suck it up now.
Oh, wow.
Money, 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 money,
Oh,
money.
shit. Oh, money makeover, huh? Relationship rescue.
Money, 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 money.
My name is Shannon. I'm 37.
My name is Pete. I'm 36. I've been with Shannon for about 3 years. This was Shannon's.
Holy shit, that's a nice house. That's a nice little house. 2 garages?
Place before we got together, so I kind of came into it.
I bought the house in 2004 on my own.
Wow, $304,000, dude. My education, I only owe $9,000. It was a total of like $20,000 for my fucking education. They have a house that's worth $304. Jesus. You know, on second thought, I don't feel sorry for these people. Bien pendejos. You buy a house that expensive. I don't care how beautiful that son of a bitch is. If the house is that expensive, so will all the maintenance on the house. Oh, Jesus.
Open concept, so we can cook and watch TV at the same time. We have room for an office and a gym. I like it. It's cozy. It's nice.
Holy shit, look at all that equipment. That shit's expensive. That fucking piano behind her is expensive.
Master bedroom is my favorite room in the house.
God.
There's lots of light.
King-size bed.
It just feels like it's a little bit of an oasis. Together, we have been sort of
The cat can stay.
struggling for the last couple of years. So when it came time to renew the mortgage, I couldn't do it on my own. And Pete wanted to live in a house that we own together. Once we start applying for a mortgage, people come crawling out of the wood.
Rich people. Okay. Weddings and Beyond TV. I don't know if I'll subscribe, but it's called Couple Almost Homeless for Mortgage Till Debt Do Us Part Mortgage Meltdown. I'm just going to listen to it and still play my game, but if you guys want to see the actual thing, you can
Woodwork
do
from
that.
your past because now he's active in the system.
I had a student loan issue pop up. I had some parking ticket issues pop up. Some tax issues pop up. Pop up means I avoided them for a long time, and then I finally reared their ugly heads is what pop up means.
So all the danger signs were there for this guy's no good with money.
We just rolled almost $90,000 into the mortgage.
Consumer debt that we had accumulated together. So a $250,000 mortgage is now a $340,000 mortgage. We're still not out of debt. And yesterday I quit. I told my boss this was my last day. I can't take the stress from work. I can't take the stress from home.
Shannon tends to worry about the monetary issues. I'm a super out of sight, out of mind kind of guy.
It's an argument about every dollar. I would like to know where you're going.
It's come to the point where she goes through my receipts when I come home and will question me about it. Oh, so now it's my fault.
No, it's not your fault.
Our financial situation could totally cause a breakup.
He doesn't seem to care at all. But for me, it's huge stress. There has to be some accountability and responsibility and change, big change. If he can't learn to at least meet me in the middle and make an effort, I'll end up losing the house and losing him, and where will we be?
This month, I'll help this couple protect their number one asset, their home. I've been solving money problems for over 20 years, tackling everything from high finance to low income. I help people understand money and debt and how to balance it all while keeping a roof over their heads. Shannon and Pete needed 2 incomes to qualify for this mortgage, but now they're down to only 1. They aren't earning enough to manage the mortgage and the maintenance on their home. They're at risk for losing the roof over their heads and their relationship. I'm here to see if I can get both back on track. Hi, Gail Voss Oxlade.
I'm Shannon.
Nice to meet you, Shannon.
And Pete.
Nice to meet you, Pete.
Nice to meet you too.
If you don't mind, the first thing I'd like to do is just drop my bag and have a quick look around.
Sure, come on in.
All right, thanks. So how long have you been in this house?
6 years.
About 2.5 for me.
And when are you planning to paint?
That's ongoing.
Because you don't have any money to buy paint?
That's right.
There's some things that need to be done to keep the value of the home. There's some cracks in the foundation.
We really need to finish the driveway. Floors need to be fixed. The walls need to be redone.
Look at the stuff. All our small appliances. And then we have shelves and shelves of stuff. I have a feeling they've been shredding the evidence. This is how the boy takes care of his financial paperwork. All of these are from the tax man. You are complete morons when it comes to your money. Here's the problem now. You've borrowed so much money, nobody will lend you any more money, so now you're screwed. Shannon's in charge of the money.
Yes.
Were you behind her when she did the buyers club?
Yeah, that was a crazy
Those
thing
are
to do.
catastrophes.
Buyers clubs can be very seductive. You can buy vacations and almost anything you need for your home at near wholesale cost. The problem is you have to spend thousands on club purchases every year to justify the membership fees.
The membership at the time was approximately $10,000, so that was a $2,000 down payment and subsequent payments of $205 for the rest of our lives. I'm pretty sure there's like no end in sight.
So you come to the realization you're in a mess. Let's call Gail. And then why don't I quit my job?
Because the job wasn't making me happy. It wasn't helping us.
Happy is really important when you're drowning in debt.
But
in the meantime, he's being garnished.
30% of my income is taken bi-weekly by the government.
If you couldn't pay for the things you were buying before, how are you going to pay for them and all the debt now?
I have no idea.
Do you have any idea how close you are to losing the house? You are financially irresponsible. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. You have no concept of consequence. And you have put your largest asset at huge risk of being wiped out. Okay, so you start projects and you never finish them. You put in a base with a parking pad, but you didn't finish it. You finished the staircase, but you didn't finish it. Paint and wallpaper, but you didn't finish it.
That's right.
Interlocking patio, did you finish that?
The patio is finished, but the rest of the backyard is not.
So not quite done.
Not quite done.
And then there's the bedroom furniture and the buildings for another $4,000.
That's not done either.
So you spent a total of $13,400. All those upgrades will be a waste of money if they're left unfinished. And they've been left unfinished because these two have exhausted their credit. You're putting stuff on credit.
Right.
$4,000 worth of parking tickets. There's the buying club membership, student loans, $10,000 in taxes owed, and here's the $88,000 that you consolidated to your mortgage. You guys are in your mid-30s, and you are $120,000 in debt, not including your mortgage.
Well, $120,000 in debt was a huge surprise.
Not just shocking, we don't have anything to show for it.
Even though they have a lot of debt, they haven't stopped spending. And right now, you're wasting 84% of your income on variables like food, entertainment, and stuff. Because you consolidated so much debt to the house, you took your housing costs up. Now your housing costs are at 53%. It should be 35%. Look at those worry lines on your forehead. I am so happy to see those.
Well, I am concerned. Why wouldn't I be?
You're over budget by $6,200 every month. If you stay on that track, in 5 years, you'll be $953,000 in debt. But you won't ever make it there. You will have lost the house in less than a year. I can help you, but I can't fix this. You have to fix this.
Right.
So will you do anything I ask?
1,000%.
We will do whatever's necessary to dig ourselves out.
Over the next few weeks, we are going to wake you up to your financial reality. We're going to look at your options for how to deal with this mess. And if you do decide that you want to stay in this house, we're going to have to figure out how to protect this, which is probably your most important asset at this point. Coming up, shifting priorities.
Well, there's no entertainment yet. Weekends are sacred to us. But now
Sure they are. They're sacred to us if we're financially stable.
Money, 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 money.
Homeowners Shannon and Pete are drowning in debt.
Ridiculous how we can't control it. It's like fire.
Pete's attitude is out of sight, out of mind. You haven't filed a tax return in 12 years. And Shannon's no better. Do you have any idea how close you are to losing the house?
I'm in complete denial.
You're in deep is what you're in. Pete started to sweat now that Shannon's quit her job. You're over budget by $6,200 every month.
It's not just shocking, we don't have anything to show for it.
To get things under control, they'll have to play by my rules. For the next month, these homeowners will learn to live on a strict cash budget. No more credit cards. They'll complete weekly challenges to tackle their money and relationship issues. And if they're willing to change, I'll reward them with thousands of dollars to pay down their debt. No changes, no money. So you're going to be living on cash, but you're going to be living on a lot less money than you've been used to. Because I'm cutting your spending by about 70%.
7-0?
Instead of the $3,600 you've been spending on a whole bunch of stuff, you're going to have about $1,100, and it's going to play out like this. You'll have $125 a week for food, $88.23 for transportation. You'll have $25 a week for entertainment,
What can you even do for $25?
You'll find out.
Yeah, I guess we will.
You will have
No money for
zero for clothing and gifts and $30 for other. This is the beginning of a new positive habit, taking care of your money. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
You, challenge number 1. Guess what?
Get a job.
Oh my God, see, I don't even have to say it, but you also have to balance your budget. I want you to eliminate every single thing that is not a need. At this point, you can't deal with wants. First thing in the morning, Shannon and Pete got down to the daunting task of trying to balance the budget with only one paycheck.
With everything in it, we're over budget.
By how much?
$500. Vacation, 0. Interest in hobbies, I'm putting 0 for that.
Well, there's no entertainment yet.
So it's gonna have to be no.
Well, come on.
The only other place I could say we could cut is the cable.
Ouch.
I know.
Well, if we're not going out and we're not doing... Our budget right now, in my opinion, is very unrealistic. Right now, we have no money allotted for entertainment.
Pete wouldn't drop the entertainment issue,
But am I wrong here, though, with the entertainment and restaurant?
leaving Shannon to question his commitment.
I think it's going to take a little more time for Pete to come around with the gravity of the situation. I don't think it's reality for him yet.
Like, I'm gonna have to get another job looking at this.
I can always go 10 bar, like 1 shift on a weekend or something.
I'm not happy with it. We both really enjoy our weekends right now.
We are up creek with no friggin' money right now. I just want to get through now. And you have a problem with me not being around on nights. That's just too bad. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, so now it's my fault.
No, it's not your fault.
We both agree that you want to be... Weekends are great. They're kind of sacred to us. But now
Sure they are.
now
They're
you're
sacred to
thinking
us
about
if we're financially stable.
Shannon's clearly gotten the message that she needs to do whatever it takes to become financially stable.
It's not about being happy at a job right now. It's about the house and paying for everything. I'd like to start work right away, doing anything if I could.
Your joint income on this budget is $6,000. Does this take into account the fact that you don't have a job?
I have an interview tomorrow and an interview on Tuesday.
Okay.
So I am assuming that the worst case scenario, you making a minimum wage, that's what we would bring home.
Because you still have a few weeks to go in terms of coming to terms with some stuff. Yeah. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt now. Even if Shannon were to get a job earning her previous salary, their housing costs would still be too high. For this next challenge, they'll need to be prepared to deal with the consequences if they can't afford to keep the house. This week, it's all about you going through the house and making a list of all the things you have started and never finished, and to do whatever is required to fix the house up so that it can sell.
Paint.
Okay?
I see paint in our
They can sell the house.
Until the end of this whole
They
process.
have to. They don't have that
And
damn
you will
money. You
have
can't
to
have a
get
house
to
without
work
money.
Finishing some crap.
Jeez.
Sell the house, pay off the debt. I'm not willing to throw in the towel as quickly as you are.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
In 5 years, you'll be $953,000 in debt. Shannon and Pete's self-indulgent spending on stuff for their house has finally caught up with them. Who pays $3,000 for a vacuum cleaner? They consolidated so much of their consumer debt onto their mortgage that they now owe more than the house originally cost.
Wow, these people are really, really white.
Thinking, where's my retirement going to
They're
come
more
from?
whiter
Pete
than
let
I
things slide to the
thought
point
was
with the
possible.
taxman taking a big chunk of his wages.
Totally irresponsible. I've admitted it 1,000 times.
Meanwhile, Shannon's out of work. They're so close to the edge, they may have to sell the house.
The realization that we could
Hey.
lose everything if we don't make some sacrifices.
Buy house.
It'd hit hard.
My challenges should help them get out of this mess. If they succeed, I'll give them up to $5,000 to help them pay down their debt.
5,000 and nothing
This week,
for
I
that
sent
kind
an
of
appraiser
house.
to go through the house to give them an idea of what needs to be done to maximize its resale value.
When people see little undone things, they tend to think, if I'm seeing those, what about the ones I'm not seeing? The front driveway, you haven't finished in that area, definitely well worth doing. In an area like this where parking is always an issue, that's a wonderful thing. The painting, of course, because it's something that's not very costly and it does have a really good return. There are some scratches on the floor and you might want to consider renting a polisher and just running it through all the floors. It's ideal to replace that carpet that's damaged and stained upstairs. When purchasers are looking at that, they put a number on it. That number often is exaggerated and you will see it in your offers. And at the end of the day, you're probably looking at a cost of between $3,000 and $5,000 at the most. If you leave the property as is and sell it, we're looking at the low end of the range being $388 to $390. And if you go forward and make the improvements that I've suggested, you're achieving the high end of the range, being around the 406, 407 mark. Well worthwhile.
That got them going on the projects they can afford to finish right now.
The whole idea of losing the house, that lights a giant fire under both of us.
Fraser said we needed to dump at least $3,000 to $5,000 into the place now. With the budget we have now, I don't know how we're going to do it.
But ultimately, that's the choice they'll have to make. Stay and invest more money they don't have, or sell and pay off all their debt. To make sure they're considering all the options, I've sent them to check out a rental property that falls within my general guideline for housing, around 35% of their income.
If we rented, and we saved the difference of $500, we could save about $6,000 in the first year.
That's nice.
It's a nice size. I miss having an ensuite.
Ensuite, no debt. If we rent, we wouldn't be responsible for some of the larger repairs that need to be done, right? Obviously, that's looked over by the landlord. Nice kitchen.
Very nice. For what we'd be spending per month, it's a beautiful home. Just don't want to make an emotional decision because it's so nice looking.
If we were to rent, obviously we'd be selling up most of our debt, and we could free up some money and sort of have a life again. We don't have any money for entertainment. We can't do anything. I couldn't even take you out for dinner for your birthday.
Quick fix. Sell the house, pay off the debt. That's gone now. Did we learn our lesson? Maybe not. I still think keeping our house and paying our debt down is the best way.
I really do consider it a vital option to sell and rent a place.
I'm not willing to throw in the towel as quickly as you are.
You really liked what you saw?
I liked what I saw, and it's a good option for where we are,
Yes.
I think.
What's your hesitation?
That's a Band-Aid fix.
Yep.
We pay off all of our debt and we're at zero and we're awesome, and now all of a sudden we have all this money and we go right back into debt, or we don't end up coming up with a down payment.
Well,
for
it would
another house.
certainly take a commitment. Did you go out looking for a job this week?
I did.
And how many interviews did you have?
I had one interview yesterday.
Okay. Of all the paint that has to be done, what percentage still remains?
60 or 70%. Yeah, I have to figure
so
out
you
how
still
to...
have 70% of the painting to do.
Yeah, we had to fill a lot of holes and I had to go over the trim and prepare the trim before I painted it. So that's all painted now. I just have to slap the paint on the wall.
Okay. If this is in fact something that you are going to consider doing, staying in this house, then I think you need to do so with everything out in the open so that you know exactly what you're facing a year down the road, 5 years down the road, okay? And a home inspector can do that. So I'm going to send you a home inspector so that you know what you're dealing with if you decide to stay here.
I want to see
While
what
we're
that
cleaning up
woman
the
looked
house,
like.
Clean up the paperwork. I want all your paperwork cleaned up this week. Okay. That means that tax returns have been done. Do not touch it. If I see your sticky little paw prints on it, I will smack you.
See, it's sad that full-grown adults with education and they've lived life a while cannot discipline themselves to do these basic things. Even I have problems sometimes because I don't want to do some shit sometimes, you know, and I blow it off or I push it away, but eventually it goes on my list and I have to get it done. These guys, a married couple, they keep screwing up and they don't, instead of helping each other, the guy comes off as oblivious and the woman comes off as a worrywart, where she's worried about everything, but she's not doing anything, and he's just useless. You know, he's not really doing anything. So I'm hoping that the goal of this video is for them to get the discipline they need to get the ball rolling. It's interesting. We'll see.
This is what the future of retail could look like. And it's already making its way here to Formula 1.
You treat your house like a piece of crap.
The gravity of the situation drilled into our heads.
You are complete morons when it comes to your money. Homeowners Shannon and Pete,
And they laugh.
let
They
their
think it's
finances
funny.
and their home
They're
fall
going to
into
lose their
disrepair.
fucking home.
They've made some progress, but now it's time to decide
They're
whether
still
to
gonna
sell
have
the
to
house
sell
and
that
pay off the
overpriced
debt,
piece of
or
shit.
invest the time and money it'll take to restore their number one asset.
Certainly, guys, it's very, very cool up here.
I've arranged for a home inspection, so they'll have a clear picture of the
years
costs
ago.
they're facing.
You're 3 times colder than really what it should be on these exterior walls. There could be a lack of insulation. The drywall's going to have to come down, re-insulate. Could be quite a costly venture, but... Have we had to buy sweaters yet?
Yeah.
The garage should not be overlooked. It's a key component to this home. You've had some work done. However, you've got open cavities here. These should be sealed to prevent carbon monoxide, which is a toxic gas, entering the home. Okay, guys, it looks like someone attempted to fix a crack in your foundation.
The builder came back like 3 or 4 times to do it.
Wow, and they didn't get it right, eh?
No.
You've got mold forming here, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah.
So definitely, yeah, absolutely, all right
For
here.
sure.
That is priority number 1, is getting this thing fixed properly. Another thing I noticed towards the back of the home was a horrific grading up against the home. All of the water is going up against the home. You have to get some landscaping done, but it's those 2 issues, this crack and the grading at the back, are 2 things you have got to get addressed.
And obviously, we have to come up with that money before we can sell it, and we don't have it now anyway.
The quick fix of selling the house and turning it around to pay off debt, that's gone. We're going to take it seriously. We're going to have to fight our way out of it.
If they're going to save their home, they need more money. Pete started by tackling his back taxes.
It's going to be faxed off tomorrow, and the garnish will cease on my paycheck as of the next pay.
It was driving me crazy that for 3 or 4 months his wages are being garnished, and all it took him literally 15 minutes.
Pete's also committed to increasing his income.
Well, I just did my forecast for next year. If I hit my target, it's going to be about 35% increase in what I made this year. Now with my garnish being lifted, that's another 30%. So all of a sudden there's 60% increase in money.
I see a really big change in him. Like we can have a discussion about money, and it doesn't lead to an argument.
One of the things that happened this week, which is sort of a big turnaround for you, is you've changed fundamentally how you're thinking about the money.
I have a little respect for the money, if that makes
Yes, it does make sense.
whatsoever.
You feel like you have a plan moving forward.
If there's any extra money coming in above like our static debt repayment plan that we have set out,
Yep.
we're going to just make a lump sum repayment towards the mortgage.
Okay.
We did use the house as a dumping ground financially, physically. So now we realize that it was really dumb. Like it really was.
When I got here, you were overspending by about $3,500 a month, and you were headed to $950,000 worth of debt in about 5 years. It was before you quit your job. So what I wanted for you was for you to wake up to your financial reality, okay? And I think you've done that.
Yeah.
Initially, I wasn't convinced these two were going to make it, but I've seen some huge improvements. Even though the painting isn't finished, I'm going to give them one more chance. No, I was coming to give you $4,000. Okay?
Yeah.
But here's what I'm prepared to do. You send me pictures of these walls finished, I'll give you this too. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Fair enough, very fair.
Okay.
Well, Gail, there's a nice way of stating the blatant obvious things to you to make you go, you know, everything she said makes sense, and she proved to us it worked, and we proved to ourselves it worked. She's all right.
6 weeks later, I was happy to send them a check for the full $5,000. Pete's earning more, but the big news is that Shannon got a full-time job. Between the two of them, they're confident they'll be able to stick to their debt repayment plan, finish their home repair projects, and keep it all on budget.
Wow, sounds like a good deal. All right, that's enough of the money. Oh, that was so interesting. I can't believe it. I saw that house and I'm like, 300 and some, what was it? 300 and some $1,000. I was trying to get a home for 40 to 60,000. I was willing to do 80 to 100,000 if I had to, because the FHA loans, they're only good for like brand new homes that are, you know, in good condition. They don't like to give out loans for used homes. They don't like, you know, and banks don't like to give loans out, because if you have a house that's too screwed up, like it's all burnt and stuff, there's a lot of properties that are burnt from, you know, fire, and they're just like the mold thing and all that. Banks don't want them. Eventually they'll just auction that shit off and try to get their money out of it. One time I was going to buy a home that had water damage, had a big hole about 6 feet, 7 foot across in the kitchen, and it was saturating the inside of the home every time it rained. And the irony is that it was a duplex, so when it rained, the water would hit the wall in between the two parts of the duplex. So I was surprised that the other guy who owns the other half of the duplex didn't complain about it. It had trash in the backyard and everything. Like, bags and bags of just trash in the backyard. They had a car that was in the garage that had been completely stripped. And you know what it was? It was just the chassis. The chassis all by itself, sitting there with nothing on it. And my friend says, we could buy it. And I'm like, he didn't have any money. I'm the one with the money saved up, or the one trying to get the loan to pay for it. And it's like, and he's not working steady work or anything, and I'm supposed to go in on it with him. And I'm like, no, we had to pass on that. I'm glad I did, because later on, my friend had diabetes and he had multiple sclerosis, and he died. He died in his apartment one day. And I never got to go to the funeral or nothing. I didn't know where it was. I didn't know his lawyer's name or anything like that. So, poor guy. His name was Thomas. But anyway, all right, I'm going to stop it. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. And hopefully, I think I'm going to wind up trying to get to Google Fiber so I can have faster upload speeds, because these videos, they're like almost a month behind before I post them. So I need to do something like that to get this thing caught up and get this data off my drive. Anyway, thank you for watching. And, let me go back to the game and end it there. It's always better if you end it in the game, I think. Alright, so stop it here.